school used to be.
Oh, okay.
Andy Griffith graduated from Mayberry High School when it was in that location. He graduated from high school in 1945. He graduated from the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill in 1949. Why is 1949 a special year for me?
You were born that year.
The year you were born.
Congratulations,
You're
y'all.
the same age as my oldest sister, and that's her birth year.
Congratulations to all of us.
Yep.
Nobody has to walk home now.
That's good.
I do like the answers I get sometimes. Perhaps the most interesting one was the lady said, "Is that the year you got married?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go there.
I think she's still walking home.
Should have said something like, "That's the year your father was born," something like that.
I remember the arc.
Right.
Year you got married. Thanks a lot.
Some people won't say they're afraid they'll embarrass me. I'm way embarrassed. Way embarrassed. There's another very famous person from Mount. That was correct, right?
Rich knows everything.
I used to kick around a lot as a kid. My dad was a policeman,
Oh,
so I learned to like watch TV a lot.
people call me Otis. I hadn't figured that one out. They do. That's it.
We sat in his bunk.
Anyway, Donna was born and raised here in Mount Airy. Actually, about 5 miles out this road, you can see a green sign up there.
Mhm.
Two of them, actually. One of them says the Donna Fargo Highway. She was born about 5 miles out that road. She grew up here, went to college in High Point, North Carolina. She wanted to go to college and be a school teacher. She finished her college. Her brother lived in California. She moved out there with him to teach school. Now, you'll never believe what she taught. English. You imagine a fine young Southern lady with a wonderful Southern accent teaching English to students in California. Y'all dudes.
No thanks.
Well, she loved her teaching. She was in charge of the English department at the school. And people loved her. She also loved music. Nights, weekends, whenever she could find the opportunity. And she and her husband decided that if she's going to be in the music business, we need to be in Nashville, Tennessee. And she moved to Nashville. And that's where her notoriety came about. She won Grammys, gold records, best new artist of the year, many awards. She had her own syndicated TV show. You probably remember that too. And oddly enough, it was called the Donna Fargo Show. You can imagine such a name.
Keep it simple.
Yes, keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Now, early in her career, again, she was very successful. But as time went by, she got multiple sclerosis, MS. She did continue performing as much as possible. She went into some other activities. And she also had a stroke. During COVID, both she and her husband were severely stricken with the COVID. Her husband, unfortunately, did not survive the COVID. Donna did. Now, she's about 80 years old, 78, 9, 81, somewhere along there. She was back in Mount Airy 2 years ago for the dedication of the Donna Fargo mural we'll see down there.
Yep. Yeah, we saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we were walking
We
down.
walked around a little bit waiting.
Now, look through here quickly. I'm going to stop for you to see what you One man bought it, didn't realize he had so much granite, and he was trying to mitigate his losses. And he talked to the railroad and they said, "Bud, you don't want to sell that place. It's got a gold mine." The railroad built a rail line out of here, and that's what really started the party, was the ability to move it all over the country with the market since 1890. They've gone down about 200 feet since they started, and they're still above ground, which is still amazing to me. They have measured the depth of it. The rock goes down into the ground about 8,000 feet. And they say it should last 500 more years.
Wow.
Now, of course, the primary way they used to get it out was by blasting. When I was growing up, and of course it was way before my time too, but when I was growing up, they would blast multiple times during the day. They blast off big chunks. This is why it's called a dimensional quarry. It's not a quarry for crushed up. They do get crushed up granite. You can see it over here. But the primary function of it, or the primary use of it, was for dimension. Buildings, architectural things, statues, sculpture. They used to import people from Italy and other places to show them how to do all the work with them. You could always tell they were from Italy with the last name. I'm trying to remember the others. They're all getting old now. They say it should last 500 more years. Also, they get granite countertops out of it. I bet everything in the cemetery you see here comes from granite from the quarry. There's very little, if any, waste because it's all got some other function that they can't use it for what they initially cut it for. The granite itself is called Mount Airy White. It's very white with the little black specks in it. Now the black up here, they'll grind that off or scrape it off. That's where the water stains it. But that'll be done away with. That's not a problem. Now if you look along, I'm going to turn this way so you can see. You can see all the piles of crushed granite.
Oh wow. Alright, I'm good. Yeah.
Well, we are looking for granite for our county top, so I'm going to give you a look at it. Look at it, look at it.
It does look good.
Do we have white walls, so it looks good.
His mom never worked a lot outside the home because it was during the years of the time of the Depression. Families had to live together so they could take care of each other and make ends meet. Andy and his mom and dad lived with relatives until 1935. In 1935, Andy's daddy was able to move out on his own, and he bought a 3-room house. Not 3 bedrooms, but a 3-room house. We will go by Andy's home place and talk about it. When Andy was a baby, his daddy could not afford a bed for him to sleep in. Where do you think he slept?
In a drawer.
That's exactly correct. He slept in a dresser drawer. Well, I got to pondering about that one day. I pondered quite a bit. And my wife looked at me and she said, "What are you doing, Steve?" I said, "Diane, honey, don't bother me now. I'm pondering." She said, "Don't you be a pondering in public anymore. You embarrass me." I still do it just to tick her off a mite. And I pondered that if Andy is sleeping in the dresser drawer and he starts to cry, what do you do? That's exactly right. That's where the term "shut up" came from.
That's
Nah,
okay. I got to write that one down.
Wah, wah, wah. But you never know.
Things that you pre-live, we all have colloquialisms.
Yes.
Where we are and things and stuff. And this lady was talking one day. I'd been sick for a while, and I said, I could hit a bull in the ass with a bass fiddle. She said, "What you say?" I said, "Well, I'm just sick. I could hit a bull in the ass with a bass fiddle." I can say that again. I got to write that down.
I had an old warrant officer in the Army used to say that. He was from Tennessee, and he come watch us play softball, and I had a bad night. And I walked over there, I said, "What's up, Chief?" He goes, "Son, you couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a baseball."
That makes me feel good.
Yeah, he's an old boy from Tennessee.
Okay, now Andy had to work for that. One of the jobs was in a movie theater called the Grand Theater, which I'll go by where the Grand used to be and show you downtown. He saw a movie that had a trombone in it. Andy wanted a trombone, so for a couple of years he worked hard, or a year actually, worked hard, saved his money, ordered one from the Spiegel catalog. Now, well, he got his trombone in. He had to find a teacher. There is a church in this area called the Moravian Church. It is a Christian religion. Most Moravian churches have brass bands, as ours did and does now. The minister agreed to teach him to play. And in Andy's own words, he said, I ate it up. He loved it. Practiced all the time, was at church all the time, moved his membership there. Many years later, when Andy died, he was still a member of the Moravian Church here at Mount Airy. He graduated from college. He graduated from high school, went to college at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. He majored in religion. He wanted to be a Moravian minister. But like a lot of people, his interest changed. He went into theater and acting. He met a girl named Barbara. Andy and Barbara would later marry. Andy Griffith was married 3 times during his lifetime. Andy and Barbara did a play called The Lost Colony, which is done on our coast. You've heard of the Outer Banks of North Carolina?
Yes.
Been there.
It's done in Manio. You went to Manio. And Andy loved the area. He bought property there. He always had a residence in Manio, North Carolina. When Andy died, he was living full-time on his property in Manio. And when he died, he had planned his own funeral. He wanted to be buried on his own property within 5 hours of his death, and he wanted no public notification. He died at 7 a.m. He was buried on his own property by 12 noon that same day. He didn't want people to know about it because he didn't want thousands of people coming to Manio to interrupt the lifestyle of the people there. That makes good sense to me. I told my wife a similar thing. I want to be cremated. I want my ashes dumped over the people at Mayberry days. I want to get in everybody's hair one more time before I'm gone. And my wife, who's pretty smart, but she married me, what can I tell you? Said, you know, Steve, that's the only way you'll ever have a smoking hot body, too.
I always say that I wasn't smart to go to Villanova University, but I was smart to marry Greg.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
I
you.
said I wasn't smart to go to Villanova University, but I was smart to marry Greg. So I married my wife. She went there. I wasn't smart to go there.
Villanova? Is that where you said?
Villanova?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where she went. I wasn't. I couldn't even work there.
Well, you know, things happen. I was more interested in just working. And I went to community college and did all right. It did great. I worked for Sears and I worked for the state for 18 years and had my own business 35 years. This is the best job I've ever done.
I bet.
Can you drop us off there at the end of the tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, my truck's right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd save us a lot of walking.
Just a small panic. Another old bank. It's nothing's occupied.
Yeah. Really? Wow.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. I watched it. I watched it. The first one, Andy, I think,
The skin tones, they're perfect.
Wally Ellie Walker in the show. That's Walker.
Look at that.
That's a pretty good
That's
job.
interesting.
That's a bug.
Yeah, real bug.
Mine doesn't look like it. This is the Mount Airy Police Department. All made from granite. There's nothing to see in there but enough rock. rock up,
Skips it.
to the water. Very good. And now the rest of the story. Obie was only 5 years old when the show started. He was not strong enough to throw a rock and hit the water. One of the stage hands hit in the bushes. Obie made the motion. The stuntman, not stuntman, Reggie Smith, the stage crew guy, hit in the bushes. Reggie threw the rock, Andy Opie made the motion. Screwed that up totally. You get the point.
Oh, sure.
So Opie didn't throw the rock. Ann did.
Correct. Another guy. Reggie
Somebody that got no credit.
Yep.
Smith. Opie mentioned him one time when he was in. Oh,
Now I'm gonna start looking for that rock.
Good luck. You'll see it hit the water. This is Andy's home place. And he sold the house in 1966 for $6,000. It's now owned by the local Hampton Inn.
Oh.
And you can stay here. It's almost $300 a night for the whole house. Not just a room, but the whole house. They advertise it sleep 6 people. Now, having been in it numerous times, you've got to be real good friends. There's one bathroom and a little bit of other room too. Now, when they moved in, there was no front yard. The sewer line ran from the house to the street, but it was above the ground level. Andy said, as a boy, I'd walk on it like a high wire, swing on it like a swing, and ride it like a horse. Said it drove his mama crazy. So Andy, his dad, and some friends dug a basement. They didn't have dirt for a front yard, and they had a basement. The toilet was on the back porch. As you can remember probably, a lot of people thought it was not sanitary to crap in the house. They thought it would smell and they didn't like that. So they put them on the back porch. The old guy said, you know, people have lost their mind. They come inside the poop, they go outside to eat, it don't make no sense at all. Do you know the 4 rules to be a plumber?
Oh, hot on left, cold on right. Don't bite your nails. And I forget the other ones.
Oh, you got the big one. How many people get the fight? Shit flows down here.
That's it. I knew one of them. Hot on left, cold on right. Don't bite your nails.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I thought I made that up.
No, that's an oldie but a goodie.
Wow, that's good. Now, Andy said in the winter when it was really cold, he would stand by the fireplace till he got as hot as he couldn't stand it. So he couldn't stand it. He'd jump in the bed, his mama covered him up with a bunch of covers. He said some mornings it was a rough night out and it snowed, and he said I'd awakened before with the bed covered with snow would blow through the cracks in the wall. It was tough living. It's a little bigger than that now. It's about 1,000 square feet. But it's a neat little house. Andy and his third wife, Cindy, spent the night here. They dedicated the highway as the Andy River Parkway. He said it was good to see the old place again. Now, Andy was married 3 times. Turn right, take you back to the truck. But he never had biological children. Andy and his first wife, Barbara, adopted 2 children. The first child they adopted was a boy, and they named him after Andy. Andy Samuel Griffith Jr., and they called him Sam. Sam lived in California, and unfortunately Sam died at an early age. He had some problems in his life. His daughter's name is Dixie, and Dixie lives in Colorado. Dixie lives in Colorado. Now, over the years, a lot of characters from the show would come to Mount Airy on Mayberry days, which was last weekend, in fact. It's the last full week of September. And unfortunately, most of the cast on the show is not around anymore. And there's a few of the younger ones that is a pretty looking Ford truck are not around anymore. Andy's daughter, Dixie, comes to Mayberry days. And she and a friend of hers dress up like 2 characters on the show. Do you remember Daphne and Skippy, the Fun Girls?
Nope.
Yeah, I do.
They were from Mount Pilot. They were cruises that Barney picked up one night for speed.
Yeah, they had the real raspy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, had had you ridden with me on the Mayberry days, you would have noticed on each of my cheeks my souvenir from Danny and Skip, which I wore very proudly. Thank you very much. And somebody said, well, what's your wife going to say? I've been married way over 50 years. I know what she would say. Steve's like a dog chasing a car. If he caught it, all he could do is bark, pee on the tires, and run away. Now, the first time Sheriff Andy Taylor was seen on TV was in 1960 in an episode of the Danny Thomas Show, Make Room for Danny. Don Knotts and Andy were great friends from the movie No Time for Sergeants. Don saw that premiere episode of the Andy Griffith Show. He got in touch with his friend Andy and said, don't the sheriff need a deputy? Don Knotts was hired to play straight man to the comedian Andy Griffith. Andy said, I learned quickly I needed to play straight man to Don Knotts. Andy also said, had I known the show was going to go in the direction it went, it could have just been called Mayberry, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back at Wally's, but we're going to take a little detour here and get around your vehicle.
Kind of liking that pickup truck up there too.
It's really nice.
That's a good job on it.
Yeah, like the Kraggers.
Yep, that's beautiful.
We made it.
Yeah, that's my side. I'd hope so.
You're in a real car. That thing would fall apart.
Could you imagine?
we pull away.
Car weep.
Yep. This car's got steel in it.
I heard a bam one day on your side, and I thought I knocked the mirror off, but I forgot it didn't have a mirror on it, and I hit a foam pole with it.
Oh no.
How do you not hit the curb if you hit a foam pole?
Good trick.
I don't know. I didn't hit the curb. I mean, you take care of your mistakes, but it's just dang. So I got another story, and that's me hitting the mailbox, hitting the phone pole.
That's a big old tree right there. Big old tree.
Do you ever remember an episode when Gomer Powell was on it?
Yes.
And he came in singing from the halls of mountains.
Yeah, when he's going to the Marine Corps, yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
He said, Andy, you know where I got the words for this from? Andy, he said, no, Gomer, where? He said, from a calendar from Nelson's funeral parlor.
Yeah.
Well, it actually was Nelson Moody Funeral Parlor, and this is Moody Funeral Home over here. Wade Moody bought out Roy Nelson. There's another one down here that says Nelson on it, where it was to start with what was there. So that was really fun to show. Things have changed a bit too. And I'll tell you a story about character. My dad was a hard-working man. I'm sure y'all were too. I know he was a police chief. He worked hard. And he had saved his money and paid for the burial and all that. And the guy that owns this place now, Bob Moody, called me one day at my business. He said, I need to see you if you want to be there. He thought he wanted something framed. I had a gallery and frame shop for him. He walked in the store, he walked up to me and he said, Steve, when your dad died, you know, it was all paid. He had paid for it in advance. And he said, we got a check from this insurance company where we were the beneficiaries of it. And he handed it to us for $500. He said, you don't owe us any money. And by rights, he could have kept that check.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Stand up.
Yep.
These two buildings here were mills. This was a sock mill. This was clothing. I lived on the 4th floor of that building for several years in a lot called Renfro Lot. My dad worked there for about 30 years.
Textile mills.
Yep, that was the thing. This was a hardware store. The big green building was a hardware store. And the way see how the roof's kind of funny there?
Yeah. Yeah.
The front end fell off of it right after the 4th of July parade.
Whoa. They just left it like that?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's interesting. Anybody get hurt?
No, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
Good timing.
Yeah.
If it had been 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd have killed about a dozen people.
Different story.
Wow.
Now, wait a minute. You're on the
is, yes, if you're going straight.
That puzzled me for just a minute.
This is not England.
And I'm not James Bond. Now everybody makes a mistake.
Yeah. My wife did.
Red one.
She married me.
You're in this parking lot right here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I believe so.
Silver truck right
Yes,
there.
sir, right there.
Okay, I'll pull right in there. Make
This is a real nice town.
It sure is. This was great.
I love the architecture like this. Just like the town we grew up in, pretty much. You know, just like this. Only yours is a lot more lively than ours are.
that building there. Used to be the Coca-Cola bottling plant.
Really? Oh, wow.
Guys sit there on the stool, open everything back down, and you look at every bottle and see if there's anything in it.
Wow.
That would be a job I had. The reason they did that is because the guy bought something and he drunk it, had a tick in it.
Oh.
I got one that had a clothespin in it. I didn't sue him, I just got me 6 bottles of pop for it. This one here.
Yes, sir.
Well, I do hope you enjoyed your trip.
I
That
did,
was
sir.
great. This was awesome.
I did.
I watch the show every night. I'm a big fan. It was great to come here. And my wife watches Matt.
On again?
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna get a take. He's gonna put you up. He's gonna make you famous.
Don't tell the IRS.
Yeah, right? Thank you, Steve.
Oh, thank y'all. Bye-bye.
The granite from the quarry, huh?
Yep.
TV land.
Exit 109A for US 158 East, US 421 South toward Kernersville. In half a mile, use the right 3 lanes to turn slightly right to stay on I-40 East. Signs for I-73 North.
What do you buy you? Didn't think so.
There's no stopping on bridge, so we're stopping.